Hi there, welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. Welcome to 30 minutes of my day. I'm going to pre-apologize. How's that for being Canadian? Oh, I got ink all over my hands. That's not even what I'm apologizing about. I've already been working on some things. I'm going to pre-apologize. I'm waiting on 2 phone calls. So, um, if the if my phone goes off and I have to pause all of a sudden, yeah, I'm sorry. So hold on, let me get some of those hideous overhead lights off, and we can just work with some natural light. It's easier. It's easier to film. And let me put that aside, but that's what we're going to work on today. Some of you were asking about this book. I used this book for a few of the pages and one of the illustrations in the Victorian Readers book, that journal that I recently finished. And this is the book that I was talking about, Queen Victoria's Sketchbook, it's called. I've seen it quite frequently in my thrift stores where I am, and I'm not sure whether it's because we have a huge UK population here in Canada. I mean, we are one of the Commonwealth. So we have a lot of, for example, in World War II, many of our Canadian soldiers married what they call war brides. And a lot of British young ladies came over and raised families of beautiful little Canadians that are half Brits, and then of course, just because they could come over at many times, come over freely, as my grandparents did. My dad's parents came over around the same time, around 1913. They came over 1913, 1916. I think Granddad was. I seem to recall. Anyhow, so long story short, of course, it's Catherine here. Everything's a long story. We have a big UK population, or else second generation. Jeepers. Sorry. Second generation. I guess I'm second. My dad would be first generation Canadian. His parents were from England. Yeah, that's not going to work. I'm going to pause and fix this. There we go. I think I'm okay now. So anyhow, my dad was raised in a very, even though it was here in Canada, raised in a very British household. And of course, my gran and granddad, I was very close to them. They lived only a few minutes away from our house. So, in a sense, I was raised that way too, because gran and granddad were always over. And I mean, I was raised with the usual, there was always kettle going for tea, and horseradish with roast beef, chutneys, fruit cakes, the food, the music, all that sort of thing. Anyhow, back around again. That's why I think I see this book quite often. The next generation that are one generation away, and it's not so near and dear to their hearts, are cleaning out, grandma and grandpa's homes as they're passing away. And yeah, anyhow, this book is just full of the artwork that Queen Victoria did, starting from a young child, because of course she was tutored privately. Being one of the next in line for the throne, her life was very, very sheltered, keep her safe. Her mother her mother kept her quite secluded, to keep her safe. Whether she was right or wrong doing it, because Queen Victoria, for many years afterwards, blamed her mother for her isolation and for other things. And I wasn't there. I don't know. But apparently she came around at the end and was quite heartbroken when her mother eventually passed away. Anyhow, this book is just full of artwork that Queen Victoria did. Drawings of her own children, landscapes, drawings of places she's visited, theater. This is her daughter, Vicky, in her wedding gown. So it's just a charming book, and it's similar to the kind of book that we like as junk journalers, because the pages are matte and they're kind of a creamy color. They're not frosty white. So keep your eye out for it, and if you see it, I bet if you're my kind of junk journaler, this might be the kind of book you wanna put in your stash for cutting up. I think I'll even at some point that's going to appear on the front of one of my journals that I make. I love that. Isn't it pretty? So there we go. That's done. Now there was something else. Oh, I've been just going nuts. I know I keep going on about her lately. Francesca at Junk Journal Joy. She put out a new video this morning, and she was doing a snippet roll, and I had to make one, so it's handy and ready to go for making various things. So I'll put the link to it down below. And so I had fun this morning after I cleaned up my room, because my room was just a disaster. Mine's a little different than Francesca's because, anyone who knows me, I'm addicted to distress ink. So I couldn't not have all those torn edges and not distress them. So anyhow, so that was fun. And there we go. I want to find ways to incorporate this now into some of my journals. So I put that aside, and now today, look who's back. It is, and here comes my phone. Hold on. Okay, that was hubby. One phone call done. One to go. Anyhow, look who's back, and it's only been a year. So, the Tailor of Gloucester was going to be one of my Christmas journals last year, and then I forget how many I ended up making. And when I'm done, I'm done. When I've had enough of making Christmas journals, it all gets packed away, and poor little Tailor of Gloucester got packed away. And so I pulled the Tailor of Gloucester out last night to take a look and see if we can have him meet his destiny. It's a cute little Beatrix Potter story, and it has a little bit of a Christmas theme to it because the little tailor is trying desperately to finish a waistcoat. I think it was the mayor was getting married on Christmas Day and had ordered a waistcoat, and the tailor was not going to have it finished in time, and he went to sleep. It was sort of like the shoemaker and his elves in a way, because he saved some mice from a terrible cat, and the mice, to thank him, finished sewing the waistcoat while he was asleep that night. So that's why I love this cover, with the little mouse sitting on a spool of thread with a little thimble beside him. And so then, because the mice finished the waistcoat for him, he was able to have it ready for the big grand Christmas Day wedding, and the little mice saved the day. So anyhow, originally, I have in the past with Beatrix Potter books busted out the spine, because you can see that looks weird. There's the spines for these little books are sort of glued in that pinch fashion, like they sort of look like this. So they've got the tiny little spine, and you can bust them out, and then you can just give them a square spine, and it pretty well doubles your space that you can fit. And that's originally what I had planned. So it actually, I've already done a second gutting on this poor little baby. But I decided that the Tailor of Gloucester really needs to be a little bit bigger than that, maybe a little bit more grand, because it's going to be a Christmas journal. So, so I went ahead and emptied out what I had put in there. I had just put a little cardboard spine down there, and I had fortified it with some Tyvek, which would be fine too. But I decided that this one needs to have a larger spine, a nice rounded spine. I'm not going to put bands on it, but I am going to make it pretty. So I'm just pulling out. There's still a little bit of the cardboard in there. There we go. So I already made a curved spine for it, and it's a good size. Let me see. I won't know exactly. I think it's 1.5. I did. Yes, it is. Got a tickly throat. No, I don't have anything. Fine. Tickly throat. Talking too much. Oh, hold on. He's in the door. Okay, there we go. So I pulled it all out. I'm going to cut it in half, and we're going to put a curved spine on this. So it needs to get used to a new shape. I'm just sort of giving it that. Now, there's a few things I want to do. This is the original dust jacket, and I'd like to try and find a way to make use of it. Maybe just a little illustration. I don't know yet. Someone named Krista got this for Christmas one year. So, and sometimes I'll keep, when the previous owner has a really cute little signature, like actually Krista's signature is adorable down here. This, I don't. Anyhow, so that is going to go. We will not be keeping that front page, but I'll find a way to, of course that splits up a spread, but that's okay because there's actually a few that are split up here, and that's all right. We will find a way around that. So these pages are pulled apart. Boy, this publisher, no wonder these little books last a long time. Heavy on the glue. Well constructed little books. So I'm going to put those aside. If the Fergusons had kept their name a little bit more inside here, I might have found a way just to cover that up. But no. Nope. So what I'm thinking I want to do is, as I said, curved spine, make it a little bigger. And then I have fabric here that has some purple in it. Because here's the challenge. You're trying to make an orange book look Christmassy. Orange. I could make it look Thanksgiving-y or Halloween-y, even springy, but orange, and try and make it Christmassy. Fortunately, the lettering is burgundy. I can make burgundy look Christmassy. So I have this fabric here, and this just shows you when you're making journals from junk, or journals from thrifted secondhand sources. This is a napkin, Christmas napkin, and I'm sure I paid next to nothing for it because, knowing me, I probably didn't even pay full price at the thrift store. I probably got it at a Boxing Day sale. But there's burgundy in here. So this was for something else, I think. It would have been the right size, but I want more of this dark burgundy because, as you can see, let me hold this here. If I can put that burgundy right near the positioning, it's all in the positioning. If I can put one of these burgundy ones, here, maybe that one, close to where the purple font is, then it sort of makes it match. So that's the plan. I'm just going to have to find which. I really like that one. Maybe if I put it that way. Oh, and that way I'll get one of those poinsettias. Okay. This is one of those patterns that really doesn't have a north, south, east, west. It looks like you can pretty well, whatever direction you want it to go in, you can. There, I like that. So that could be the spine fabric. Purple is near the purple lettering, so it makes it seem more like it all goes. Poinsettia here so that it definitely looks Christmassy. Now what I want to do for now is, I'm not going to save this little spine. If I want to, maybe I'll save the title off of the spine from the dust jacket. But this is going to, I'm hoping, help reinforce when I put the new spine on, like that. That will give me, do you see what I mean? It gives me more room to glue it on. But before I do that, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, with my scroll that I made there, this really needs to look elegant, and I want to ink it, distress ink it, because it looks too brand new. And these books are paper, that's not fabric. So my plan is I'm going to distress ink it, and then I'm going to Mod Podge it. Now, bear with me, because I think it's going to look fabulous. And I'm sure some of you right now are yelling at your screen going, Catherine, don't do it. But yes, I'm going to do it. Oh yes. I'm going to ink this up and make it look old and make it look like it's been around for many Christmases. I'm just using Gathered Twigs as my distress ink, and you have to do it now because once it's Mod Podged, there's no distress inking over Mod Podge. So as ever, I like to sort of make a roundish glow of my distress ink so that the eye really gets drawn into the center part. Now, some of this is going to be covered by the fabric when I cover the spine, but because you don't know where yet, I have lots of room, which I'm really glad about. I don't have to cover any of that title. That's one of my big bugaboos in creating junk journals. I hate when I have to cover up some of the title, and in fact, quite often I won't do a book. If I'm going to lose part of my title, I just won't even, I don't even bother making it. But that's one of my silly, fussy Catherine things that I hate doing. But it happens quite often with many of the little golden books. You end up having to cover part of the title with your fabric. And it really bugs me. It's just me. But that's one of those things. I just won't do it if I lose part of my title. Now I'm going to turn it over because I want everything to be equally inked, right? It doesn't make sense that this side would be old and aged and then this side wouldn't be. So it all needs to still match. Now, because this is paper and not book cloth, I'm afraid to try and tear up this end paper that's inside. Normally, I would get out my my little scalpel and my little knife that my son-in-law made for me. He cut down a knife for me and rounded it, and then I think I could shave my legs with this baby. It's so sharp. And it's really handy for pulling up end papers. He even made me a little cover for it. Anyhow, I don't trust that paper glued to paper is going to come off without a fight. So I will be covering that with, I'm just going to do my best with my new end papers and cover that. And I want to, again, to really, really try and make this look Christmassy. I'm going to try my best to find some Christmas papers that have a little bit of orange in them, but still look like Christmas. So we'll be doing that probably next time we get together. I'll pull out a stack of, now that I've got some Christmas scrapbook paper, woohoo, we'll be able to go through it and find, I'm sure we'll be able to find something that really looks nice and will go well with it. And then my goal for this book is to simply put the original story back in order so it's readable, and blank papers. So it's going to be, I know I haven't gone nuts lately with the stuff in journals full of stuff, but this book just tells me that it's Beatrix's illustrations are enough, and that if the next person who goes to work in this book cares to put more artwork in it, then that will be up to them. It will be their book. There we go. So see how I've got sort of that grungy little dirty halo that I've created out of the ink. Now, because there's distress ink on it, I will have to work quickly and methodically with the Mod Podge, because the Mod Podge will want to grab some of that ink. So that's why you've got to not mind that distress ink too much, because it can affect the tone of your Mod Podge. Speak of the devil. Oh, there it is right there. All right, I'm going to change my camera angle because I seem to be wanting to work a little further out. There we go. All right, let me find another Mod Podge because that doesn't feel very full, and neither does this one. So hopefully we've got enough in one or the other. Now, I just want something to lift it up. What have I got that will lift it up? Wish that wasn't so big. You? Oh, here. You will work. That will lift it. There we go. All right. And a brush. Oh, I just banged that darn tripod again. All right, now let me try and pull my chair in without banging the tripod. That's good. All right, so let's do this. Rock and roll. How am I for time? 24, I got 6 minutes. Okay, hold on. I got to fix my timer because I didn't pause my timer when I went to unlock the door so my husband could get in the house. There we go. All right. There we go. Let's do it. So this is one of those times where some people like their Mod Podge just mirror smooth, and I'm one of those weirdos. I actually like when my Mod Podge swirls and swishes. I think it makes it almost look like it's been painted, like a painting. So I actually do little circular motions on purpose with Mod Podge. So I'm probably going to, when I finish up Mod Podging here, that's where I'll end this for now. But in the meantime, off camera, I'll cut up the fabric, get it ready, so that we're ready. Now, I can hold on to this side because it's going to be underneath the fabric. And it doesn't matter if I get Mod Podge on that end paper because we're going to put new end papers on. There we go. Now, oops, all right, I need somewhere else to put you. Hold on. We'll put you up here. All right, now here's the tricky part. I'm actually going to start with a fresh glop of Mod Podge because this is already, I can see the color of the ink on it. So I'm just going to wrap it for now and I'll go wash it when we're done. I'll get it. I'm going to grab another brush. There we go. And some fresh Mod Podge that doesn't have any of the distress ink that has tinted it. There we go. And then I'm going to do him first. Do this little fellow first, and I'm going to work from the center out towards the edge. And that way, that really pretty picture, I wouldn't be too upset if it got some of the sort of brownish tinted Mod Podge on it, because it just all serves to make it look older. And if I get any on it, I am going to have to just do it all with the slightly yellowed. But let's see how it behaves itself. So this will help protect it as well. Like I said, these covers are paper, so they can get mucked up pretty easily. And usually a Christmas journal is one of those ones that just gets used for a few pages every year. It gets put away with the decorations. Then it gets pulled out the next year, and then you write about your next Christmas. Quite often. Not everyone. I guess some people, if they're quite prolific with their writing, will fill a Christmas journal all in one year. But many people just write a few things in, how their Christmas was. And then it just gets packed away until it gets pulled out again next year. Come on, you. Behave. There we go. Oh, that's just enough. He's going to yell. He just came in the door and I bet he forgets that I've got the camera rolling. He's a good boy. Oh, no, he didn't. He's off. He's getting his beloved lawnmower winterized today. So he's taking it over to our little engine repair place in town and get them to give it a little checkup so it's ready to go in the spring. There, that's gonna look nice. Might look kind of icky right now. It's gonna look nice. Just needs one coat. There we go. There we go, little Taylor of Gloucester. And how's that for timing? Perfect. All right. Time's up. Dismiss. There we go. Well, thanks for joining me, and thanks for seeing what my plans are for this little book. And when we get together again next, I'll be moving along to the next step. Take care, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and please stay safe out there. We'll talk soon.